baby. Get down there, AD. Show me something, baby. There it is. There it is.
Yeah, I think you had over 5,000.
Back to pass. Tender receivers number 2. This time the pass is complete. Pick is up.
Good morning and welcome to the Warrior Talk After Show. Today with us we have returning guest number 10, Jay Lee. Now, Jay Lee, I'm going to tell you right now, we're going to skip the whole introduction portion of it, and we're going to do a deep dive right into the game versus the Hatch Valley Bears. I'm going to pass it over to my grandfather and co-host, Mr. Tim Apodaca. Tim, here you are.
Man, I'm just excited right now about our show today. We're going to dive into the bad calling and everything else that went on during this game. You guys pulled it off. It was a spectacular win for you. And Jay, how do you feel about that game?
I felt pretty good about it. We could have done a lot better on a couple things, but our defense really stepped up this game and helped out with the run. So the DBs didn't really have to come up and make that big hit, and the backers and the D-line really set the tone, especially not having David.
You know, the thing about that game, your defense definitely showed up to play, and your offense was there. They were giving Ocampo enough time to really set up, get the ball delivered to where you guys were. Was there any time or any place you felt out of time, or the balls are coming pretty close, pretty straight to you guys?
Yeah. The ball's always where it needs to be most of the time. Isaiah's gotten better week after week. But sometimes some games we just need to it takes us a while to get rolling early.
Yeah, and towards the latter part of the season, now that we're in on divisional plays and stuff, it's pretty nice for Ocampo to be able to have the receiving core that he's got right now between you and Alex. I think right now any quarterback would be ecstatic to be able to play with you and Alex the way you guys are catching the ball. I went into Max Prep this morning to try to find out some of the stats that they have, but I couldn't get into it. I don't know what's going on with Max Prep. I couldn't.
I think it's just been the internet this morning because I was trying to do a whole bunch of stuff, and I really couldn't. I was a little concerned for the show today, being the issues I had this morning as well. Jay, so are we ready to jump into the first quarter?
Yeah. Let's start it off with a Socorro kicking the ball off over the Hatch, and they opened up the game on their 25-yard line, and right when they got the ball, the thing started going backwards for Hatch, because right off the bat they got a 12-man penalty.
Yeah.
That was before the game even started.
Yeah, that was. Ocampo was going crazy on the sidelines over that one.
Yeah. So, but anyway, when they started their drive, did you notice their running back?
Their running back? They had number 14. He was a good running back. He ran hard. I played middle school basketball with him, and he ran hard. But number 19, he was pretty physical. He ran hard, but our defense shut him down early.
That Orrin Russell, his name. Yeah, he at the very beginning, when he started out, he was making, heavy yards.
Yeah.
And you guys figured him out right off the bat and put a halt to him. Find out where he stands. So, once you covered that up, that was pretty good. The Bears took the ball all the way down to the 21-yard line, found themselves with 4 and 7, and they went out for a long pass, making a touchdown on that first drive that they had, and the extra point was good, so it put them up 7-0 right off the bat.
I'm going to steal this from you for just a second. So just to kind of reiterate what he was trying to touch on earlier in the show. So, Jay Lee, I'm not sure if you're aware, but you're number 1 on the team for receiving yards per game at 85.6 yards per game. And that just goes to show you kind of why you were here today. You know what I mean? Because you're receiving yards throughout the game in Hatch. I mean, come on, dude. That's, like he was saying, it was a tough bit for me and him to decide between you and Alex, but the work that you put in, that's why we waited all the way to the end of the fourth, you know what I mean, to the very end of the game, because it was that close. But yeah, I mean, numbers don't lie.
Well, tell us, man, how does that make you feel to be? I knew you were up there in the runnings for the number 1 slot this week.
Yeah.
And I felt you wanted. That's why this morning I had mentioned that I'd gone into Mac Prep. I wanted to let everybody know, all our listeners out there, and let them know where you stand as far as the number 1 receiver. And it's got to make you feel good, huh?
Yeah, it makes me feel good. It makes me feel like I accomplished something, but that stuff doesn't really mean much when we're trying to win as a team at the state championship.
Yeah, but with all modesty aside, it means a lot. If I was a number 1 receiver right now, I know I'd be on top of the world. I feel like the king of all of it, because like I mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast that Alex is right there alongside you, and with you two doing back-to-back, I mean, phenomenal catches and stuff like that, to be on the top, it means a lot.
Yeah.
That's a good feeling. It makes the fans really look at you, up here.
Yeah, it definitely does give me a lot of confidence.
Anyway, before Moy grabbed the mic from me and about knocked me over, I was right there where, they were on a 4th and 7 on the 21-yard line, and they passed it and, made that touchdown on their opening drive.
Yeah.
Which to me felt like it was going to slow us down. I thought, oh no, with this running back, the way he's running and everything going, I thought you guys were going to be in an uphill battle.
Yeah.
But, it turned out pretty good. And so when the Bears kicked back to you guys, it was kind of a short one. You wound up on the 44-yard line. And it didn't take much for you guys to get the ball down the field. Or, no, for them to get it back in their possession and go down to the field, and they made it back into the end zone again.
Yeah.
And they went up 14-0.
Yeah.
So what do you think about that?
I just told all of our guys that we just need to just have fun and not worry about the score. And I wasn't worried about it. I don't know if they were, but I knew that we would come back. Because we just had some younger guys having to step up in some spots, and they just had to get used to get going.
Well, you know what? And you just talked about that confidence earlier. I mean, that has to have some play into it. You know what I mean? You're down 2 touchdowns in the first quarter. I mean, with some serious drives, going down the field by Hatch Valley. And they've always been real good.
Yeah.
I remember from when I used to play. I mean, they've always been real good. They've always had had pretty good coaching. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to lie. I was a little worried.
Yeah.
I was. But
Yeah, but then we're coming off of that bad game with Cobra. You probably don't remember that. I mean, I don't blame you if you just erase that totally from your mind. But
Yeah.
Coming off of that loss, that heavy of a game, but we're gonna get into a lot of dynamics on that stuff later on.
yeah, we got about 2 games to cover in today's episode, so I hope you're ready to reopen old wounds.
Yeah.
So anyway, they used on your guys' opening series on the drives. They used Boykin quite a bit. I noticed.
Yeah.
This first time, was that intentional? I mean, was there any reason why that was going on? To your knowledge?
No, I don't. I know they rotate a lot at practice. There's like an equal amount of reps at practice. But I honestly don't really know who's in the backfield.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why it was. That boy woke up with something in his freaking whatever he drinks in the morning, and you know what? He decided he wanted to be a man that day.
Yeah,
that's
he
what
did.
happened.
Yeah, I can agree to that.
I mean,
And I'm glad he's stepping up and filling in that. Being that big backer that we need right there.
I agree 100%. So I believe we're at the end of the first quarter now, correct?
No, I don't think so.
No? Okay, then I'll wait.
Sorry about that, but
you're okay.
no, it's my where I was getting at with Boykin carrying the ball. He carried it pretty well. I mean, it's some of the best ball carrying that I've seen when he shooting right up the middle.
Yeah.
And he dodged a lot and got the ball down to the 4-yard line where it was 4th and 4, and you guys went for a field goal. And it was almost no good. Remember, it hit the bottom bar and then flipped into the.
Hell no! Now you're going into the second quarter because I know it was 14-0 at the end of the first.
No, well, I'm not.
No, because you know what? I was sitting right there and I was losing my mind when Caden Dow goes in, right? And he goes to kick that field goal, and I believe I have a video of it somewhere. If I could find it, I'll feature it in the broadcast that'll be posted later on. He kicks that ball so low but so hard. I mean, that thing in the baseball world would have been considered a line drive home run. You know what I mean? That sucker, it could have gone either way. That was a straight 50-50 chance.
Yeah, we were pretty frustrated that Ocampo didn't give us a shot, but we knew Caden would get us some points because he is a great kicker.
He's a great. I know, because even when he screws up, he makes it in that goal. So that's the big thing I wanted to do there, and then so that brings you up 14-3. Okay, to start off the second quarter. And so you guys are finally getting some scores, some points on the board, all that good stuff going on. And then you have a pass, a real good pass to the corner of the end zone, I believe, to Alex Amato, bringing the first touchdown. And then, of course, the kick was good, but when isn't it? You know what I mean? And that brings you up to 14-10 with 8:41 left in the second quarter. So you guys are starting off the second quarter, and you're like, you know what? Nah, this game ain't as lopsided as you thought. You know what I mean? You're already bringing up 14-10, and so I'm going to let you go ahead and take it from here, but I wanted to touch on that.
Well, just like Jay Lee, like what you mentioned a minute ago, the defense turned it on.
Yeah, they definitely did.
They turned it on, and they started getting through to these guys. And you had 72. Andreas was.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Don't even get me started on Andreas. He was filling in some shoes too. Like I said, man, there was a lot of people on that team in Hatch, man. That was a brand new team. I'd never seen that team before.
Yeah.
If they'd have been playing like that all season, I don't know. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That loss against Colgate might not have happened.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
I think we're starting to come out of our shell.
I really hope so. I really, really hope so. But, you have the likes of Andreas. You have the likes of, Chase, Boykin, yourself, Alex, Isaiah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have Gabriel. He's turning it up big time. You know what I mean? Pete's always putting in work out
Jakey
there.
really stepped up on defense, too.
Jakey, man.
He just came up there and he got drove back a couple times, but
Man, I feel like a
he's
broken
having-
record talking about Jakey because that dude, he's going to be a stud. You watch. Give him a couple years. What's he, a sophomore, freshman?
yeah, he's a sophomore.
Sophomore, exactly. By his senior year, whoo, I pity the fool who stands in front of him. I really do.
Yeah, he really brings it on defense. That's what we need.
He was breaking through. I mean,
Yeah.
he was getting into the backfield.
Yeah.
He was creating a lot of havoc. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, he was telling Coach Ocampo after the game that he wants to be a backer now.
Good.
Yeah.
That's what. Yeah, good. Well, I tell you what. So we're going to take a short break here, real quick. We'll gather our thoughts, and we'll be right back with our impact player of the game, Jay Lee, here on the Warrior Talk After Show. Warrior Nation, it's that time of year again. We have senior night coming up for boys soccer on October 24th at 4 p.m. We hope to see you there in support of your local seniors of a local soccer club. And following that, we have senior night for girls soccer, also at the soccer complex at 6 p.m. And if you find some time in between, make your way down to Warrior Gym, where you can see Lady Warrior Volleyball taking on the Hot Springs Tigers. This is a pretty huge battle, pretty heated battle, and quite a big rivalry for the Lady Warrior Volleyball. Hope to see you there. I will be at all 3 events. Go Warriors. Welcome back to the Warrior Talk After Show. With us here today, we have the Impact Player of the Game, number 10, Jay Lee. And I'll pass the microphone over to my co-host, Mr. Tim Apodaca. We'll get this thing started.
Yeah, I want to continue on there at the 43-yard line where Ocampo fumbled the ball, and that drive started on the 44, where I guess I don't remember who. I didn't get a name. It's not that I don't remember. I didn't get the name of who recovered the fumble for the Bears, but I believe it was Russell that was involved in that because he was involved in a whole lot of other stuff.
Yeah, he was always flying around the field, always.
He's pretty fast too.
Yeah.
I've noticed. But anyway, they started it, got it down to the Warriors' 37-yard line when you guys caused another fumble.
Yeah, Isaiah caused a fumble and then got on it, and we were pretty hyped about that. And I told him, just give me a shot right here, just give me a shot. And
you got your shot, all right.
yeah,
You know, when that pass went in and everybody caught it, well, everybody went crazy over that because not only that changed the momentum of the game, but it also got you guys out the front with a pretty good lead.
yeah.
Alrighty, so at 3 minutes and 13 seconds left in the second quarter, Warriors caused and recovered a fumble on the 8-yard line. With 3 minutes left in the second quarter, Jay Lee received a bomb down the field, going to the south end zone and scoring a touchdown. Mr. Jay Lee scoring another touchdown, making it 14 Bears, 16 Warriors.
That's where the conversion was. It was off a bad snap. That's what it was.
Oh, that's exactly what it was. You know what? I remember talking about that. So, I believe y'all were set up for an extra point, okay?
Yeah.
And then there was a bad snap on the field. And then from the bad snap, y'all attempted to make a 2-point conversion, trying to capitalize on it, and you fell short just a little bit, leaving the score at 14-16. So you guys are ahead of the Bears by 6 points now, a full touchdown.
Hey, good thing Gabriel left because before you mentioned anything about that bad snap, he was in here a little while ago.
I don't know. Does Gabriel snap on PATs?
No, it's Pete.
It's Pete?
Pete, yeah.
God dang it, Pete.
Yeah.
Freaking Pete.
When I was catching against Robertson, Alex got hurt, and I was so scared if Pete got a bad snap because I don't know any of the fire calls or anything. They just threw me in there just to hold it. I didn't even know what I was doing.
God dang it. You know what? And I never did understand those fire calls either as a lineman. You know what I mean? I didn't know whether I was supposed to stay there, run out and block somebody.
Yeah.
I never, for my 4 years of playing, understood
the next
that.
week against Santa Fe, I had to do it again, and it was a bad snap, and I didn't know the fire call, so I just ran it.
Well, this next thing that I'm going to touch on a little bit, it is a tipped pass recovered by the Warriors. Okay, I believe that happened in the second quarter right there at the end. Okay, so this tipped pass was caused by number 15 Nasario, and it was received by number 7, who is our Warrior of the Week for the Warrior Talk podcast, Dakota Jackson. He's a bit of a diamond in the rough. Okay.
Hey, what did you guys think when old Jackson took off the wrong way? I thought, oh man,
I was laughing.
Yeah, I'm glad there was enough of you guys to turn him around and get him going the right direction.
I think he was just caught up in the moment.
Well, you know what? I'd have been caught up in the moment too. Hell, at the Super Bowl, I was caught up in the moment. I almost started running at the wrong way too. No, but you know what? And that's great. And tell me a little bit about Dakota. I mean, what do you know about the kid? Because this is the first time really that I've seen him on the field, that I've really noticed him. I mean, that dude, he seems like a hidden gem. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we all love Dakota. I remember I worked at the pool this summer, and he would always come in the pool, and I would always just sneak out of my job and go swim in the pool, and we'd play basketball together in the pool. And I didn't really know much about him. We just were playing basketball, and then he came to football practice one day, and he comes every day. He don't ever miss. And he's a freshman.
He's a freshman, brother. He is a freshman. So number 7, Dakota Jackson, be on the lookout for him. next game and next season because that man right there,
He
I
just
mean,
keeps getting better and better every week. 'Cause
I
he
can
has-
tell.
He hasn't really had anyone really coach him up, so he's kind of like he's been really lost out there and like doesn't really know what to do, and he's starting to figure it out, and he's starting to cause some problems for the other teams.
So you mean to tell me that's just natural talent that he's
Yeah.
working on right there? Ooh-wee.
You know what grade is he in?
He's a freshman.
Well, you know that's where it'll start. I mean, most of you guys that we've been watching since you were freshmen have been building it up to where you're at now. You know, so it'll be his time.
Yeah.
So if I understand correctly, Dakota is filling the shoes of Junior.
Yeah, I think we have a couple guys that rotate in there, and with Diego getting hurt, I haven't heard much on Diego, but
Have you heard anything on Junior that
Junior?
you're willing to share?
I heard that they blew out his knee and he won't be able to wrestle or play baseball.
And that's in the Cobra game.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So he's out for the full athletic season then.
But I don't know. I could be wrong. That's just what I've heard.
Well, we're going to go ahead and not make this official, but we hope for a speedy recovery for Junior. You're all in our prayers. I hope to see. I hope that what Jay said isn't true. I hope you're
Yeah,
lying to
me
me right
too.
now, Jay, because you know what? I was looking forward to seeing him on the wrestling mat.
Yeah. Definitely.
And most definitely, my dad's going to be real mad because he just lost one of his great players
Yeah.
on the baseball field. So, anyway, I'm going to pass it back to you.
Okay, let's start up. You know where you mentioned the interception from Jackson, who took it down the field, and it was running the clock down. You guys ran it down pretty good. You had about 6 seconds left in that in the half, and here's where we went on. Where boom, passed out to Jay, and you guys with that extra point went into the half, making the score 14-23. You guys feel like you had it under control around then, or you still on your toes?
We were still on our toes a little bit going into halftime, and we just kept playing.
Yeah.
We just
So,
kept
was there
playing.
any? I always ask this. Was there any halftime conversation that needed to be had? You know what I mean, to kind of keep you guys zeroed in on the end goal.
No, we just got with our position groups and we just talked about how they're gonna start passing the ball a lot, and they did start airing the ball out.
You know
A
what?
lot
You
more in the
guys were
second half.
pretty correct on that assumption. If I remember correctly, in the third quarter, they were airing it out quite a
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah. But you know, without the receivers, okay, how much you air a ball out,
Yeah.
you're not gonna make any connections.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kick off the third quarter if you have yourself ready.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So we have in the third quarter, you guys are set back to receive the ball from the kickoff. Yeah. What do you want to say? Or is okay?
You're building up.
Yeah. So in the third quarter, you guys started off set to receive the ball from the kickoff, starting off the second half. Okay. So my man, number 6, Jacob Angel, and I was standing right there next to his dad. I was making my way down to the field. He goes and receives the ball, and I just remember his dad saying, "Well, run it, fool, run it." And next thing you know, yeah, exactly. And next thing you know, Jacob, I mean, he's just kicking it. He's running and running and running, man. He got a huge march down the field. I didn't see how long it was. What was
73
it?
yards.
73 yards? 73-yard run to open up the half.
Yeah.
That has to build up some confidence on the sideline right there.
Yeah, it should build up his confidence too to be able to just like to get more yards out of the kickoffs.
point,
Yeah,
right.
Because nothing against them, but I just don't think that they really trust the blockers, and they just kind of just like follow them. And,
You know, but you got to admit,
Yeah.
he duked a couple guys going
Yeah,
down
he
the
did.
field, and once he got the sideline, he stretched it.
yeah, we
He
were
threw
all
off.
cheering for him. And,
All I got to say to the receivers, and you know, I'm the last person who you should listen to advice from, but when you're receiving a kickoff ball, okay, if you let that thing go past you, you're starting automatically at the 25-yard line.
yeah,
So whatever distance you get past that 25-yard line is a forward progress, and you did good on that return.
I agree.
So just run that sucker. I
agree.
mean, you're out there playing football. You know what I mean? Hit somebody, juke somebody, do what
Yeah.
Jacob did. I mean, look, when you guys go and review film on Monday, I believe you guys still review on Mondays. Anyway, when you review that, all of you receivers, best advice I could give to you, look at that receiving kickoff at the start of the third quarter, and
Yeah.
I mean, just I hope that strikes a fire in you. You know what I mean? Finishing out the regular season and going into playoffs.
Well, it had to, because right then's when Fern got the ball.
Mm-hmm.
You never see him getting the ball and went in for a TD.
Yep.
So, kudos to Fern for going in there and making that touchdown.
Yep.
Bringing the score. There kind of got out of reach for Hatch. It was 14-30 at that point.
Yep.
So, one thing I have in my notes, so there's a penalty called on Coach Lee with 7 minutes and 40 seconds left in the third quarter, and this was after a missed, and I'm gonna sit here and say missed helmet to helmet call by the visiting side referee.
Well, reiterate that it wasn't a miss. The referee was staring right at it.
Yep.
He saw it. It was just a blink, right out non-call. I don't know if he was hoping that one of the Socorro Warrior players got hurt or what it was, because, if I was down there and I made that kind of a bad call, it would be solely because I'd want somebody to get hurt.
And he was also the same ref that called a helmet to helmet against JK against Cobre the week before.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, I had heard about that. Well, that whole instance started at 7 minutes and 40 seconds left in the third with Jay Lee. You were the one who received the helmet to helmet call. Received the helmet to helmet. What should have been a penalty.
Yeah.
I couldn't find the words there, and it ended in an injury timeout, and I can't wrap my head around. Well, you know what? I'll get into this a little bit later after the second helmet to helmet call. You know what I mean? I'll let you go through it, and then we'll go on our rant, because I got a lot to say.
Well, basically, that's where it wound up. After they realized the score was getting kind of way out there, these refs and I don't know why they do it consistently, try to take over the game, and then they start making things happen the way they want it to happen.
definitely.
Because the way they were moving you guys back again for calls that really weren't there, and calls that were non-calls, because if, say, the line judge on the Bears side would call a penalty, I noticed right away, and it was well after the play was over, everybody was all in discussion, the line judge on our side would throw a flag out just to offset penalties. And he did it on a number of times that I noticed. And I was watching him, that's what I'm doing up there. And the last time that they called a penalty on the Bears, I watched that referee for a while, and sure enough, boom, the flag came out. So this was kind of like it was obvious what was going on, that it was a one-sided calling thing that this referee was on. He was on a crusade to try to get Hatch back into the game. I don't know if he's related to anybody on the team, or
I don't think he's related to anybody. He must just not like the Warriors. You know what I mean? Because
he's a retainer from that team, or somebody's paying him.
Well, there's just something going on, because like he mentioned, he's the same referee from the Cobra game,
and we have him this week against Tier C too.
You have him this week against Tier C. So this will be the third consecutive week that he is on the field with us. I've never heard of that personally, where there's been pretty much the same ref, and I get it that there's a shortage, but there's not that big of a shortage. I mean,
well, the thing about it is I'm going to keep a camera on him this next game that we play, just so I could send it into the NMAA to either see if he can get disciplined or rejected from being a referee, because what he's going to wind up doing is getting one of these young men hurt. And I don't mean just a little bit hurt to where they bandage him. They're going to send one of these guys into the hospital, if not get somebody killed out there. And a referee playing that kind of crap, the audience or the fans on the Socorro side, they kept it cool. I mean, they could have came unhinged with the calls this guy was doing. When he didn't let Coach Lee go out there to assist in a medical issue because one of his team players got the air knocked out of him, and that referee told him to go. I heard it with my own ears. He told that coach to go back to the sideline to get off the field.
Yep.
What?
Yeah.
I mean, what?
What? Well, okay, I'm gonna fast forward a little bit. You know, when they gave the helmet-to-helmet call, or what should have been a helmet-to-helmet call against Isaiah,
Yep.
same instance happened. Coach Ocampo then runs onto the field to try to tend to his son.
Yeah.
I mean, let's not sugarcoat it here. You have dads out there on the field who are concerned about their son's safety and health.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And that's the big thing. And told him get back on the sideline,
And it'd
coach.
be
Get
completely
back on.
different if there was like a medical staff out there and tell
Right.
the coaches to get off. There was no one out there. Like,
The coaches are the medical staff.
Yeah.
We're 3A New Mexico football.
Yeah.
We don't have a
It'd be-
training
it'd be
crew.
completely
We don't
different.
have medical staff.
Well,
That's-
I've got to hand it to the other Bears up there in Estancia. When you guys played that,
Yeah.
their medical people were out there with a gurney, right? I don't care if you guys were just got the air knocked out of you or
Or
if
a
you
cramp
were-
or something.
Cramp or something. They were out there. That was.
And you know what? And I would love to encourage more of that. I would love to encourage our personal medical staff on home games to do the same, because you know what? That's really reassuring for well, like you were saying, for somebody in the visiting crowd. You know, when one of our teammates, because I know Chase, he's notorious for having a couple of hiccups throughout the game. You know.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, it's just really reassuring when you have somebody out there, a true medical professional out there, helping out. I guess really to conclude the rant a little bit, you know what I mean, and get back onto the
Well,
game.
yeah, concluding, we do need the medical staff out there if we're going to have referees refereeing games the way that guy does, because it's not over. He's going to do it again, and I just hope that you guys keep up your guard. And were the refs saying anything to you guys when you go line up or anything?
No, not really. Like that ref on our sideline, he seemed like a nice guy, but was just terrible calls. But no, there wasn't anything. But I know last week against Cobre, the Cobre coaches, they knew every single one of the refs' names, and they would call each of the refs' names by their own name.
Yeah,
And we thought that was pretty weird.
they're on first name basis, huh?
Yep.
Yeah, I've seen that go on, but you know, it's not uncommon, I guess, for them to know. You know, if you're
It you know, just to conclude it here, if anybody is out there listening and you're some sort of bigwig, I mean, please ensure the safety of the athletes. That's the main thing. You know, we may sound like a broken record right now, you know, talking about, we may sound like average fans, you know, talking about how bad a ref's call is or whatnot. At the end of the day, it all adds up to athletes being safe and having the officials conducting themselves in a professional manner to maintain safety on the field. And this is coming from an ex-athlete who has had, you know, the missed calls on dirty plays and whatnot, you know, and I'm currently suffering from some of the injuries I've endured over missed calls.
You know, Moy, but the thing about this whole deal is our athletic director was in the stands, you know, and I heard an interview from the director of the NMAA, and she more or less made it a point to let you know that the director for that district is the one that should be reporting things to her.
Right.
So if our athletic director right now is just sitting in the stands wanting everybody to be quiet and be cool, you know, follow the rules, sure, that's fine. But yet, it's a two-way street. It's your responsibility to report things like this that's happening in their district to the NMAA so that they do know. Because if they don't report it, nobody's going to know. And then this gentleman right here is in the line of fire, you know? And these guys are the ones that are going to pay for the miscommunication that the people in the top brass of the NMAA don't get notified of these crooked referees that are playing.
Well, we're going to go to break real quick, and then we're going to continue on with the rest of the third quarter. and finish it out with the fourth quarter, and then talk a little bit about the Cold Red game and kind of what went wrong there. We'll see you right back here on the Warrior Talk After Show. The Warrior Talk After Show would not be possible without this beautiful establishment we are sitting in today, Que Suave Cafe, serving the community and youth one cup at a time. Visit APO Express at 705 North California Street, your one-stop shop for Warrior apparel. And visit Candyland to fill all your candy cravings at 705 North California Street. And Loma Theater, your local Socorro movie theater. For showtimes, ticket pricings, visit lomatheater.com. This production is brought to you by 6112 Entertainment. Welcome back to the Warrior Talk After Show. With us, we have Impact Player of the Game, Jay Lee.
All right, we take the game all the way down to Alex Amato's his pass like he usually does. He goes wide to the right, gets deep, and sets himself up for a good catch. Scoring that TD and the extra point made it 14-37. And
I want to give a shout out to Kenyon on that ball, though. For no warm up, no nothing, just going in there and just letting that thing fly.
You know what? Canyon did a similar thing in Cobra, and you know what? I really see a lot of potential in that kid. You know what I mean? If he did ever want to pursue a career in quarterbacking, he's got one hell of an arm.
Yeah.
Well, they'll as he goes through. You guys just starting out now, so you guys got a lot of football to be playing, especially if you wind up going to a college and all that stuff, and getting on their programs and stuff like that. It's going to be a lot of changes. You playing different positions and all that other stuff. It always helps, and it's good for you guys to do that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I went back and forth for a while, and who was the next one to score? I think it was the Bears. The Bears took a drive and went down, and it was a 2nd and 11 on the Bears. I think 13-yard line, Socorro's 13-yard line, and they went into the end zone and scored and made it 20-37.
Yeah, that was 20-37, 10 minutes and 19 seconds in the fourth quarter. The PAT was blocked, actually, for that one.
Yeah.
The PAT was blocked by number 72, Andres.
Yeah.
Homeboy putting in some work. You know what I mean? We spoke about it earlier. But, so that left it at 20-37. Warriors were still leading by 17 points.
You guys held them, a lot of extra points, and you guys were chopping them down pretty good all through the game.
And then we have, we have another real good couple of things. I really saw number 7 Dakota in the fourth quarter. Fourth quarter is really when he impressed me, impressed you as well, filling that nose position.
Yeah.
And I got to give credit to Coach Scooby, because from what I hear, Coach Scooby is the one who advocated to have him in that game. So good call, Coach. I mean, he put in some freaking work. You know what I mean? I saw him. He was busting through the line. He reminded me of, you remember Braden Bardwell? Yeah. He was so tall and lengthy, and you really couldn't stop him because he could bend in all different types of ways that us fat kids couldn't.
Yeah. By the end of the game, he was getting double teamed.
Yeah. Look, speaking of towards the end of the game, you almost got an interception too.
Yeah.
That was close. I saw that when you went up. And
for me, that's what sealed the deal to bring you back on as Impact.
Yeah.
Because not only did you catch, what was it, two touchdown passes, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you had 2 touchdown passes. That
one was an interception. Wasn't it?
No. Yeah, so we had 2 touchdown passes for Jay, and then you just go and break up the entire hope that Hatch had for a gain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that was a pretty big bomb down the field, and you played excellent coverage. Was that man coverage?
Yeah, they had after their second touchdown, because he scored both their touchdowns. They had told me just anywhere 2 goes, I go with him. So I locked up on him the whole game. Yeah, so that was excellent man coverage, and sure enough, it just fell out of the breadbasket a little bit. You know what I mean? But
nonetheless, I believe you broke up that play, and I believe it was a turnover on downs after that as
Yeah.
well. So, I mean, regardless whether you made the interception or broke up the play,
Yeah.
you guys were getting the ball back. So that was a great play.
It was left at 20 to 37. All you guys had to do was just kneel after that.
Yep.
Waste time off, take time off the clock.
Yep.
And ladies and gentlemen, the Warriors are looking at a 1-1 record for their district playoffs this season. Warriors faced Cobre, not this Friday, but last Friday. Jay, we're going to go ahead and let you talk a little bit about that Cobre game, okay? We won't say too much about it. Well, unfortunately, my co-host here was in West Virginia, so I was the one who had to painstakingly watch that game, for lack of a better term. But let me know how that went. What went good? What went wrong? What do you think?
I think that we're a different team than when we were last year, and we were prepared as a team, but I think coming off that bye, like we didn't really we kind of got out of the groove, and I think that I'm kind of grateful that we won't get a bye in the playoffs, because I don't think we're a team that needs to have some time off just to keep going and getting better every week.
I kind of wish you guys would have had because I was talking about that a little bit too. I wish that you guys would have had a bye week a little earlier in the season. You know what I mean? Towards a lesser opponent.
Yeah, like Raton or something.
Correct. Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say Raton. I'd say like Santa Fe Indian or something. You know what I mean?
Into it without any injuries?
Yeah, we going into Cobre, we had no injuries. I mean, yeah, we were a little banged up and that, but
You guys were running at about a solid 95 then.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, because I talked to Coach Ocampo a little earlier in the season, and he said since game one, you guys have been, you guys haven't been at 100% since
Yeah.
game one. And then how scary was that? Seeing all your players get taken out. I mean, they were headhunting.
yeah, they were just I've never played such a dirty team in my life, and it was. They were
I
just-
have, and their name was Cobre
Yeah,
from
they
Bayard,
just-
New Mexico. Okay. And
I
the
think
second
their
dirtiest
mission
team.
was just not let off the gas and just to pound us every single play.
Yeah.
Every single play.
I do got to say, though, and I got to hand it out to Cobre, and you know what? Maybe a couple people get mad at me. Maybe they won't.
They
But
showed up and played.
They showed
on
up,
mission.
they played.
They handled their business.
they were an excellent example of what success Smash Mouth football can be.
Yeah.
Because, granted, a lot of the hits, they look dirty, and I know there was dirty play in there. Believe me, I'm an ex-athlete. I know what that dirty play looks like. But a lot of the plays where the stands, they were up and roaring and whatnot.
Yeah.
That was just a
football
good
play.
hit.
Yeah.
That was just a good hit, and they executed properly.
Yeah.
Their coaching staff did a real good job, with that game. Like I say, it's a little lopsided, but I do got to give credit where credit's due.
Yeah.
That isn't the worst game I ever watched. But if you have anything that you would like to say to finish off this show, now is your time.
About Cobre,
About anything.
Hey, you want to start?
I think that us coming off that loss against Cobre is nothing but gonna make us better, and I personally would rather play Robertson than Cobre again.
Is that right?
I honestly would.
Why?
Yeah, why?
Cobre, they're just they're physical, and I feel like if you beat Cobre in the playoffs, then you got a pretty good shot of making it to the state playoffs. I personally think that they are the number one team in the state, Cobre.
Well, in my rankings just before your game, and I don't follow NMAA rank or Max Prep rankings, but I had Cobre just underneath Robertson.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I see what you're saying. I mean, they are a tough team.
Yeah.
They are
I,
a real tough team.
I honestly think it's pretty open this year, so whoever wants to go get that state championship can go get it. But you got to beat Cobre.
So they're the ones, huh?
Definitely.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this has been another episode of the Warrior Talk After Show with myself, Moises Castillo, and my co-host, Mr. Tim Apodaca. We have ourselves returning athlete impact player of the game for the Hatch Valley Bear game, number 10, Jay Lee. Jay, we hope to see you back soon. sooner rather than later, and we wish you the best of luck finishing out your regular season and going into playoffs.
Thank you.
You can catch the Warriors next Friday in Truth or Consequences as they face the Hot Springs Tigers at 7 p.m. at Hot Springs High School Field. And you can expect to see me and Tim there as well. And be sure and cheer on one of your favorite athletes, number 10, Jay Lee, as he goes out and does his thing.
Good work, Jay Lee. I want to congratulate you on an excellent, superb game that you played against Hatch. And go Warriors.
And always remember, when it comes to a place like Socorro, only Warriors survive.